Good afternoon, everyone. It's Weatherzilla, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're having an update about the tropics that are currently going off, and potentially our next hurricane to hit the Louisiana coast. Before I do get started with the video, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do enjoy the weather-related content that I do provide. Turn on those notification bell icons. Make sure to hit the like button. Let's see if we can get this video up to 5 likes. So here on the NHC's and NOAA's map, you can see Tropical Storm Gamma, and we have Tropical Cyclone number 26 that has formed from the 4 o'clock advisory, and then we have these two waves out in the Atlantic that have a low 10 to a 0% chance of forming over the next 48 hours. And then here over the next 5 days, this system has a low 10% chance of forming as well, and this storm has a 0% chance, and then Tropical Cyclone number 26 will form, and that could be our next hurricane. So we need to be monitoring that system very, very closely. And then you can see we have Tropical Storm Gamma that has practically stalled. And we're going to head over to the National Hurricane Center site right now. And first we're going to look at disturbance number 3 from the 2 o'clock advisory that they gave to the system. So an area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms over the central Atlantic, about 1,000 miles, east-southeast of Bermuda, is associated with a surface trough of low pressure. This system is expected to move toward the west-southwest at around 10 miles an hour, and some slow development is possible during the next couple of days before it encounters strong upper-level winds. And then here on this system down here, just to the south of it, you can see it has a 0% chance of forming over the next 5 days. And then we're going to look at Tropical Cyclone number 26 here in a minute, but we're going to kind of go over the basic stuff. So max sustained winds are at 30 knots or at 35 miles per hour, which is pretty close to tropical depression status, if not already. And then current pressure is at 1,007 millibars. It is currently located 16.7 north, 76.6 west, and is currently moving west-northwest at 9 knots or at 10 miles an hour. But first, we're going to head over to Tropical Storm Gamma that is currently stalling over the peninsula, and we're going to look at their key messages here. So Gamma is expected to produce heavy rainfall for several days over portions of southeastern Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, Central America, and far western Cuba. This rainfall could result in life-threatening flash flooding and mudslides, particularly in the mountainous regions of southeastern Mexico and Central America. Even though Gamma is offshore, tropical storm conditions will continue across portions of the northern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula today. So let's look at NOAA's cone and the NHC's predictions about what's going to happen. So it will maintain tropical storm status here up until about Tuesday evening or Tuesday afternoon is what they're predicting. We still don't know what's going to happen after that. The models and intensity guidance are kind of all over the place with what's going to happen with this storm later. But here you can see the current wind field with this tropical storm. It looks like it's just off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. So now we're going to head over into some satellite imagery. We can clearly see some convection maybe trying to form or re-strengthen right here in this little area, as well as to the north of that as well. We have some deeper convection kind of maintaining its strength there. Here on the water vapor is going to be showing the same thing, and this could be affecting parts of the U.S. with parts of Louisiana possibly being hit and parts of Tampa Bay, Florida as well. So if you're in that area, you may be experiencing this just for maybe like tomorrow or the day after that. And then here on the track guidance, we don't know what's going to be going on here. All the models are all over the place. The models what I saw was Tropical Tidbits was saying it's going to kind of go like this and then possibly kind of die off or maybe possibly turn right into Louisiana. And here on the GEFS model, I'm not a big fan of this model. Let's say I don't think it's the most accurate. But here is where the storm currently is right now, where this 997 is. So they're saying it's going to go down and then kind of make a U-turn and then go up into central Louisiana at a 991 millibar storm. And then here on the intensity guidance, most of the models have it keeping its tropical storm status for the next couple of days, which could be concerning. We just don't know how intense this storm could get, if it's going to strengthen, if it's going to weaken. But we need to be keeping our eyes on this storm very, very closely. Let's look at the current stats for Tropical Storm Gamma. Its current pressure is at 997 millibars, max sustained winds at 50 knots or 16 miles per hour. Its current location on the latitude and longitude It's at 22.4 north, 87.8 west, and it is currently nearly stationary, which means this storm is not moving at all. It is coming to a halt. That could help it kind of strengthen with these warmer waters that are in this general area of the Gulf, where it's still a little bit warmer due to the fact that no storms have really gone through there lately. So now let's switch over to our tropical cyclone number 26, which is expected to become our next hurricane. So there's 4 key messages that we need to be getting into. So let's hop right into it. Tropical storm conditions are expected in the Cayman Islands beginning late Monday, and a tropical storm warning is in effect. Dangerous storm surge and hurricane conditions are possible in portions of western Cuba and the Isle of Youth by Tuesday afternoon, and a hurricane watch is in effect. Heavy rainfall will affect portions of Hispaniola, Jamaica, and the Cayman Islands, and western Cuba during the next few days, and could lead to life-threatening flash floods and mudslides. This system is forecasted to approach the northern Gulf Coast late this week as a hurricane. While there is large uncertainty in the track and intensity forecast at these times, there is a risk of dangerous storm surge, wind, and rainfall hazards along the coast from Louisiana to the western Florida panhandle. Residents in this area should monitor the progress of the system and check for updates to the forecast during the week. So the NHC is clearly stating that this storm will become a hurricane. I'm going to show you guys the cone that they are expecting. So it is expected to become a tropical storm by tomorrow afternoon is what they're predicting. It could be a little sooner than that. But here's where we need to be keeping our eyes on, is near the coast of Louisiana. We don't know where it's going to hit. Louisiana hasn't really caught a break at all. So we had hurricane, I believe it was Laura, kind of go through the eastern part of Louisiana as well, and then you could be receiving some hurricane force winds definitely from Cuba, as this storm could kind of become a hurricane right over top of western Cuba. And here are the expected time of these arrival winds. So we could be seeing our hurricane hit possibly Wednesday night, possibly Thursday morning. So if you're in Louisiana, you need to be monitoring this. You should probably start, or it would be smart to start preparing for a hurricane, so just before the rush. So especially if you're in Cuba, you need to be doing this immediately as well. So let's look at some satellite imagery. So you can see a nice little pocket of convection trying to form, looks like kind of right here on the western side of this storm. And then here you can clearly see where that storm is, just to the right side of your screen as well. And then here you can clearly see the full storm. Here is tropical cyclone number 26 right there. So we don't have much convection really going on right now, but this storm is expected to intensify as shear will start to kind of gradually fall apart and move away, and that's what's going to cause this storm to intensify in the Gulf, and I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. So here's the track guidance. So they're expecting this storm to definitely hit Louisiana here in about 120 hours. And then, so they're saying it also could be, according to the NHC map and with the kind of like the matching of this guidance map, they're expecting this storm to become a hurricane here in 72 hours. And then it should be hitting the Gulf in about 2 days after that, so in 120 hours is when we are expecting landfall. And here on the GEFS model, it's only saying it's going to be a 990, possibly a low 990 at impact with Louisiana as well. But we just, in my opinion, this storm, there's not a lot of information out on it right now. It's just a little too far out in my opinion. So I think once it maybe gets to Cuba, we'll have a lot more accurate information. And I'll be making my forecast here probably in the next day or two. I just want to see what's going to happen with this storm. I'll be on the lookout for that. Here on the intensity guidance, you can see we have the CTC2 model have it being a Category 4 hurricane. Other than that, most of the models have it at a very consistent Category 2, possibly a low-end Cat 3, and that could be our next major hurricane. So this season is definitely not over, and it's not going to be ending anytime soon. A couple of models don't have it becoming a hurricane at all. Most of it just have it keeping it at a tropical storm level as well. So now we're going to be looking at some model guidance. So we're going to be looking, here is Tropical Storm Gamma right here, and it is expected to kind of fall apart. And then here is Tropical Cyclone number 26. It looks like it's going to stall for a little bit and then make landfall around 985 at impact with Louisiana. So now we're going to be looking at the sea surface temperature stuff as well. So here you can see a nice pocket of really warm waters right where both of these systems currently are, and then so that could lead to definitely some strong intensification. And let's look at these sea surface temperatures. So tropical cyclone number 26 is going to have a lot of time for it to intensify with these upper 80s and sea surface temperatures, and then kind of in the Florida Gulf Coast area, we're definitely seeing some cooler temperatures as well, and then down to the south of the Leeward Islands, we're seeing mid to low 80s, and then here across the coast of the Carolinas, we're seeing about 69 to low 80s and sea surface temperatures up there as well. So let's get into this shear. So the Yucatan Peninsula is right here. Here's the Yucatan Peninsula. So the red means it's unfavorable conditions, which are very strong shear that could definitely make these storms kind of fall apart. And then green is favorable. So there's not a lot of green going on right now, but just hold on for a second. So here we can definitely see some really strong shear trying to form, or that is forming right now across the Gulf of Mexico currently right now. And then here down towards the Yucatan Peninsula, there's definitely some shear that could be trying to get into Tropical Storm Gamma. And then watch this. So I'm going to let this go through once. So the red is the shear right here. Watch this area here. You can definitely see that shear really start to fire back. And then here is tropical cyclone number 26, as there's not going to be much shear going to be affecting this storm at all. It looks like the Gulf of Mexico could definitely be opening up to some possible storms that could go through there that would have an easy time really forming and intensifying, because there won't be practically any shear for that storm to be affected by. And let's look at the Saharan air dust. That's going to be the last slide of the day. You can see here is tropical cyclone number 26, and then here is Gamma, and then here's these two waves currently right now. As you can see down in the Gulf, we do have a little bit of area of dry air that could possibly be trying to affect tropical storm Gamma, but other than that, there's not much going on other than by the coast of Africa, which could be halting some storms kind of trying to go through there. As you can see, they're going to have to go really far south, then turn upwards to be causing any impact on land. Well, that's going to do it for the video, guys. Hopefully you all did enjoy. Make sure, if you did, hit the like button, turn on those notification bell icons, but most importantly, hit that red subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video.